Yeah. Hey, I don't wanna hit a cap, you can save it. With my guys and we got it up the pavement. Listen up, it's what everybody's saying. Round of applause, give it up for the crowd favorite. Hey, round of applause, give it up for the crowd favorite. Hey, round of applause, give it I know they weak by the look in their faces. All of these rings got me feeling like Brady. Say what I feel, I don't care how you take it. Round of applause, give it up for the crowd favorite. Hey, round of applause, give it up for the crowd favorite. Yeah.
Round of applause, give it up for the crowd favorite.
What's good, everybody? You know what I'm saying? Mr. D. Jones, Mr. Well All Right here, episode 8. What's going on, my guys in the building?
What's happening? What's going on? Another day in the life, man. Got something in his throat. Pause.
Whoa.
Nah, you over here coughing and shit.
That boy had no AKAs today.
Yeah, no AKAs today.
Okay, my bad. Let me start it back off. It's your boy Trey, you know what I'm saying? Him, not them, him Jones, him Duncan, Hakeem Olajuwon, you know what I'm saying? Hebron James. Deuce shot it, Deuce shot it, Pac-Man on the track, you know what I'm saying? It's another day in the life, man. What we like to say, blessed and highly favored as always.
Blessed and highly favored. My name is Devin, a.k.a. D. Allen Smith, a.k.a. Devil the Don, a.k.a. the kid that did too much sauce, never too much.
He swear he just a kid that did.
Last name Showtime.
I'm still mad I ain't come up with him, not them first.
Oh, yeah, him, not them. Himmy Turner, man.
That's good. That's good stuff. You know what I'm saying? Listen, all of our listeners out there, we appreciate y'all so much for checking out episodes 1 through 7. This is episode 8, for sure. So yeah, we are back and at it. Damn, I guess we'll jump into the combine. You know what I'm saying? That's the most recent thing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Tech NFL combine just happened here.
It ain't the most recent, but yeah.
Well, I got you saying. You know what I'm saying? Well, yeah, we'll start with latest, then come back into the recent. But the NFL combine happened from last Thursday until Saturday? Sunday.
Yep.
And so, yeah, man, we'll just kind of, dive on into it. I know two things that stuck out. Both of them happen to be quarterbacks, but, probably a top 10 pick to be safe. Anthony Richardson, man, he was better than advertised at the combine. I mean, his arm is a cannon for sure. He definitely, he's an athlete. He ran a 4.5 40. You know what I'm saying? Being as big as he is, I think he's 6'5", 200 and then they said 260 pounds.
244 pounds.
244 pounds at 6'5". He compared himself to Cam Newton and Lamar Jackson, called himself Cam Jackson. And I saw another thing that they threw another quarterback in there as well. Josh Allen, yeah, because of the arm.
Yep.
Yeah, man, how I feel about him?
Man. Oh.
Then just one thing, didn't they say he threw like the fastest speed any quarterback's ever thrown during the drill out there?
I believe
Nah, because the record still hasn't been broken. Baker Mayfield actually has the record.
I swear I saw a tweet that said that, but either way.
But even Steve Smith would go off on the quarterbacks. I'm like, hey, man, you putting too much on the ball, man.
Yeah.
Like, come on.
It's like, man, you're an NFL receiver. You better catch the ball.
Nah, sometimes.
Got some touch.
Like, for instance, Will Levis had a great pro day, but, he emphasized that he has a cannon of an arm. I feel like when he was starting off the first drill, it was like, man, you can hear it. Like, even through the TV, you can, like, literally see how fast he's throwing the ball. Like, and I don't feel like, to me, it's cool that you could throw the ball, but that's not impressive how hard you could throw it. It's how accurate, that I feel like scouts are looking at. I feel like what I would look at how the ball's getting there, not like, where the ball's going, not how it's getting there, basically. But yeah, like
yeah, I didn't mean to cut you off, but just to chime in on that, I feel what you're saying. It's not like a big standing point for a lot of coaches. I feel like, but at the same time, when you're playing in the NFL, man, you got defenses that average maybe a 4 or 5 on the field. You could have a quarterback that they're accurate, but like okay, so if you throwing the ball fast, you can get the ball there quickly, but you're not accurate. Yeah, that's a downfall. But if you're able to be accurate and you can throw the ball harder than anybody else, bro, that opens up so many windows, like different pass plays and whatnot. You getting pressure, you get the ball out quick. The ball's getting to the receiver faster. They have a better chance of catching the ball before a defender gets there. They have basically a couple steps ahead of the defenders on the field. So I feel like that's definitely a great asset to have within a quarterback. It might be a little hard on some of the receivers, like having to catch the ball and whatnot, but at the same time, it's something I'd much rather have to learn to catch a very powerful thrower versus being wide open, because you've seen so many receivers experience that, being wide open, shaking their hand, the quarterback get the ball there late. You know what I'm saying? It can be like just a shit show in a sense. But other than that, I feel like that's a good asset to have. But I do agree with you in certain standpoints as well.
Yeah, no, I get what you're saying, like, but I'm thinking for the combine or a pro day or something like that, you don't have to throw that hard because ain't no pressure.
They said Brett Favre used to actually break his teammates' fingers and had to tell him to do that. And Josh Allen had to learn how to have some touch on the ball because he threw.
Well, Donald Driver must have had some great hands then.
Bro, when you talking about Brett Favre, this is a side note. Like when my brother, he was coming up. This is actually when we went on his visit to Southern Miss. My dad, when he was playing, I forget who it was, but I think Arch Manning used to be his coach in baseball growing up. But he was also, I forget how he was, but he was connected with Brett Favre in some way. So we went to Southern Miss. It was either Southern Miss for the visit or we were just in Mississippi visiting. But my brother actually got to get like a training session 1-on-1 with Brett Favre. So I'm sitting there and my brother's throwing to somebody catching for Brett, but then Brett's throwing the ball back to me. And when I tell you Brett Favre throws harder than anybody, I used to think my brother threw hard. Like I actually caught a few passes from Brett Favre. Like that was crazy. He throws the ball hard as hell.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. It was just crazy.
It was coming.
Yeah, like this is old head Brett Favre. He's sitting there just like look like he just warming up, tossing him. I'm just like boom. I'm like, oh my god, like that's crazy. Like my hand was hurting. Like I'm not even gonna cap to you. Like it was different.
But,
that's why y'all wearing gloves in Green Bay.
Like chill out with all that.
Imagine being in Green Bay at the cold. Like, hey, Brett,
chill.
One more time, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that red jersey, huh? Like they say he threw the ball real hard though. Josh Allen too. They said he had to learn how to have like touch on the ball. But with the pro days, like C.J. Stroud, like I watched the whole QB workout. Super accurate. We're gonna mention another quarterback here in a minute, but super accurate. You know what I'm saying? Super accurate. Will Levis was definitely trying to like show that he could like baseball pitch the ball. But Anthony Richardson, like he this is one thing I will say about your boy Lamar. Lamar, Josh Allen, like they had like this amazing. Michael Vick had this amazing ability to just like Patrick Mahomes go back their hut and just almost like look, they just flicking their wrist and that mother just like a Nerf ball just gone. You know what I'm saying? For like that quarterback at Tennessee right now, same thing. Milton,
yeah,
same thing. Just barely flick his wrist, ball be soaring for yards, and you know what I'm saying, like just amazing thing. You know what I'm saying? So, but I think Anthony Richardson definitely showed his athleticism. So he's definitely somebody to be reckoned with.
Top 10, top 10 pick.
Definitely top 10 pick. Now I will say the only knock. I'm just not gonna say there's a knock on him. Unfortunately for him, he falls into this mold of past quarterbacks we've seen with the same thing. Mitchell Trubisky, who else? Malik Willis, Trey Lance. Like the athletic quarterback with all the potential in the world can throw the ball a ton, and then they kind of get on the field and you don't see that, or they may need some more time to develop. And for him, any team that drafts him, they're looking for him to come in here and almost be a savior immediately.
No.
You don't think so?
No, I feel like with Anthony Richardson, they know he's a project. I don't think he would start day one. I don't think he's a day one starter. Like I don't think he's pro ready. I think he's a top 10 pick, but I feel like his success may come while he's sitting for a little bit. I know.
Depending on what team you go for,
where he go. Like, okay. For instance, like some people are going to trade up, and it's going to be like a Trey Lance type of situation. I can see that happening, especially after this combine. He's going to kill his pro day. I think he's going to go off. But I could see them like somebody like Carolina skipping up, since Carolina's not interested with Lamar Jackson at this moment. Everyone just we'll talk about Lamar in a little bit, but everyone has said that like 4 or 5 teams already backed down and said they're cool on Lamar, but I think it's somebody's blowing smoke. But anyway, if Carolina don't even try to get a Lamar Jackson or something like that, someone like that, I could see them scooting up to the top 5 to go get Anthony Richardson before Las Vegas do, because somebody's going to try to get Will Levis too. Like literally 4 quarterbacks can go in the top 5. No order. There was a clear one with Bryce Young, but now based off some of the reporters, I think Todd McShay said it. I'm scared of
his measurements.
Of his measurements of being 5'10" and a half.
5'10" and a half. That's half an inch taller than me.
Yeah, but and at the same time, taller than Kyler Murray. Like so it's like, but the guy can throw, right? But certain teams are like, they listen to some of these reporters are saying, and I could see them maybe not drafting Bryce Young first. They may draft C.J. Stroud first. But to me, those are the only 2 pro-ready quarterbacks right now. I think Levis is he based on his situation, he could succeed. I would like to see him in Vegas. because I don't see Aaron Rodgers going to the Raiders no more. I guess
But you wanted CJ in Vegas.
CJ's gonna be gone before that, brother.
But they trade up to get him.
I don't think they would trade up for CJ Stroud. I think they would trade up for like whoever the third quarterback is. I think they'll try to let the first two play out. You know, first pick, I can see still the Colts. I'm still gonna say that probably leading up to the draft that the Colts are gonna scoot up to the first pick, work out with the Bears, and they're either getting Bryce Young or CJ Stroud first.
If I trade up, I'm going to get the guy I need, not just settle him for third. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but to me, I feel like Will Levis is good based off his situation, like who's surrounded by him, and I think he may have a better shot with Josh McDaniels in Vegas than CJ Stroud will. That's just my personal opinion.
I feel you.
Yeah, I think I would love to see Houston draft CJ Stroud and then get Jackson Smith and Jigba at pick 12 and have that Ohio State to Houston relationship.
We played in college.
I would like to see some what?
I said we played in college together.
Oh,
We're roommates.
head ass.
What makes you think Anthony Richardson isn't pro ready though? Like, what stuck out to you that made you say like, yeah?
Oh, he's only started for 13 games at Florida. I feel like he hasn't played enough than compared to the other 3 SEC quarterbacks.
But how were I wasn't keeping up with him in college, but like, how were those 13 games?
He was pretty good. He was pretty good, but towards the back end of the season, it wasn't like spectacular. But he had some spectacular moments where it was like, okay, we see the promise. Because literally before the pro day, he wasn't projected to be a top 5 pick. Now he is. He was considered to fall somewhere between 7 and 9, Raiders, Falcons, and Panthers. But since he proved himself running a 4.4 at 244 pounds, 6'4", you know, you're an inch shorter than Cam Newton. You have an arm like Josh Allen, and you have running ability like Lamar Jackson. I feel like that's prototypical for a modern day quarterback to have that height with anything. But the fact that he just blown his his combine away, like I feel like he's gonna be better to draft, but like I just don't see him starting right away with the lack of experience.
Yeah, I remember they said this the other day, and I brought it up to kind of remember exactly how they said it. So the first 4 games, or the first 3 games, he had no touchdowns, and he had 4 interceptions. This year, Anthony Richardson. Anthony Richardson. Yeah. First 4 games, he had no touchdowns. First 3 games, no touchdowns, 4 interceptions. After that, he ended the year with 17 touchdowns and 9 interceptions. So,
his downfall right now is, from what I've been seeing and what I've also been hearing from other scouts and reporters, Anthony Richardson has the arm strength. He has all the capabilities. His accuracy is what needs to be tweaked. Mm-hmm. And I even seen some of those out routes that he was throwing, him and Will Levis, and some of them were a little bit off. So I think he can polish that, and I like that. That's coachable moments right there. Like I feel like that'll be corrected. And I'm not saying that he won't play his whole rookie year, but starting him off, no, that he needs to learn from a vet. And I feel like that's where you can find a lot of success. Pat Mahomes, Alex Smith.
If he's sitting behind Pat Mahomes, he gonna end up going somewhere else.
No. I'm talking about that's what Pat Mahomes did.
Oh, okay.
Like Pat Mahomes sat behind Alex Smith before he got his shot, and then look at him now. Sometimes you need to sit just to
learn. Aaron Rodgers.
Yep, Aaron Rodgers. Yep.
Behind Brett Favre. Yep.
And hopefully we can see if Jordan Love can get some of that Aaron Rodgers juice, and he can do something. But like you sometimes it's beneficial for a quarterback to sit. Dak Prescott. You know what I'm saying?
He didn't sit.
He didn't sit the whole 20. No,
he came in as a rookie.
Okay, and Tony Romo got hurt.
No, he came in as a rookie. Like in preseason, Tony Romo got hurt.
Oh, true.
He went 13-3 rookie.
So yeah, that's right. So he played the whole season. My bad.
You know who was that?
Tom Brady.
Tom Brady, yeah. Drew Brees
came back the last game in the first year behind Drew Bledsoe.
Yeah.
You know who was accurate though at the combine?
Stetson
Bennett.
Oh, you sound a little
off. I'm saying. That's what I got though. Stetson Bennett's my guy, man. Love me some Stetson Bennett. I've been a fan of his since last year when I heard his story, saw how he played. I'm a big underdog guy, but I just like him, man. I'm a huge Baker Mayfield as well fan. You know what I'm saying? I kind of have like a similar story. All he does is win. You know what I'm saying? He won the combine as well. He went out there. I mean, they had one part of the combine with the quarterbacks. But real fast sidebar though, I do think seeing Stetson Bennett, Will Levis, C.J. Stroud, Anthony Richardson, Tanner McGee, You know what I'm saying? Some of these top quarterback names out there, actually seeing them throw is going to create a trend moving forward, which is good, I think, to see these top quarterbacks go out there and actually throw the ball. So you might see Caleb Williams out there next year throwing the ball, showing that he's not afraid of competition. I think that's dope. But Stetson Bennett, they have this one part where they have the quarterbacks throw a go route, you know what I'm saying, a little hesitation go route to the receivers, and they get to kind of showcase their arm, you know what I'm saying? And Stetson was on the money. I think he threw the best deep balls that day.
Yep.
I don't think he's even close.
Consistently though, like a lot of those the quarterbacks threw pretty good balls, but Stetson on the money.
No, the out routes was on money. Like, I mean, and then he had one. You saw he like kind of like winked at whoever was looking at him, like, yeah, that's me.
He knew the cameras was on him.
SB the fourth, man. You know what I'm saying?
I fail to understand why. I mean, I know he got in a little trouble, but he's good now, right? So I fail to understand why his draft stock seems so low. And even though he had a solid pro day running a 4.6, like he should be drafted in the first 3 rounds. First 3 rounds, he needs to come off the board. To me, like he's better than Hendon Hooker. If we're being honest.
That's really nice because I don't know if you had Stetson above Hendon before. But now he is above. What does that mean?
You gotta chill, bro.
I like him? If that's the case, then Lamar. Actually, anybody in the first round that the Falcons might draft. Just saying. Maybe I'm just saying, Stetson, I'm rooting for you, my guy. I'm actually rooting for all you guys to be successful. And go Cowboys. We'll jump into your guy.
Cowboy fan.
Y'all's guy. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I say your guy because both of y'all, last episode, y'all heard him. There's a guy by the name of Lamar Jackson.
Lamar Jackson.
You know what I'm saying? Lamar Jackson, you know what I'm saying? So today, if you didn't hear it, the Baltimore Ravens decided to give him a non-exclusive franchise tag, which allows Lamar Jackson to actually go out with his agent, who's agentless, by the way, and speak to other teams and see if they want to perhaps make a deal to acquire his services on this new team. With the non-exclusive franchise tag, though, Baltimore can either automatically decide to match whatever other teams offer him or decide, hey, y'all can sign him, but send us 2 first-round picks for compensation. And so when that came out, as you see here on the screen, everybody watching, of course, these rumors, and these are already teams that were already rumored to be interested in him before this happened, but you have the New York Jets, the Miami Dolphins, the Raiders in Vegas, staying with the Ravens, or any other team. But, you know, I guess the conversation would definitely have to start, like, where do you think he'll play? You know what I'm saying? I think he's going to be a Raven. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to see him in Baltimore, though. I want to see the drama, but I think he's going to end up being, go with the Ravens again. So what y'all thought on that?
I'm thinking,
Can I remove this real quick? I'm going to hold on.
Yeah, go ahead.
Bet.
I feel like since Atlanta didn't work out, and then now, like, Carolina seems out of the picture, I'm glad he's not going to any other NFC South team at the moment. I would love to see him back in Baltimore, only because, like, let's see if with the new OC, with more help, can y'all, get it done. It'll be like if he leave, it'll be an unanswered, theory, like, of what he could have done for Baltimore. And Baltimore, even Ray Lewis said, you're silly if you let the best player on your team go. Right, I think that the way they're going about it, they can't come to an agreement. I feel like he's asking not for a lot because he is worth a lot. I just feel like if your team don't have it, like, you gotta go elsewhere. And I think nobody wants to match that. But someone is blowing smoke, like I said earlier. Someone wants him, but it's for the right price. 2 first rounds, it doesn't seem as bad. But when that the price tag come after that, like, is what's gonna hurt people in the long haul. And a lot of teams clearly are showing that they're not trying to do that at the moment. I would love to see him in Miami as a second option. If it's not Baltimore, I like to see him in Miami. Go back home. They seem uncertain about Tua. He can't have any excuses. He has Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill. I think that'll be nice for him to do, even though Miami, said they backed out of it, but they can't legally really talk to him until after the draft because they do not have a first-round pick. So that's why I feel like Miami, you can't really count them out, but they can't really say anything until that time. So I would love to see him with the Dolphins, just to see him have those 2 type of weapons. You got a true slot receiver and Jalen Waddle, and a true wide receiver number 1 and Tyreek Hill. And I feel like the offensive line is much better than it is in Baltimore.
Well, I do think that Jalen Waddle and Tyreek are both ones, by the way. You know what I'm saying? He's on the same team. But I'll say this, too. So I thought about this right now while you were speaking so eloquently, by the way. Good job. You know what I'm saying? Thank you for that. But I do think that Lamar Jackson, there's two reasons now, I think, why teams are pulling out of this, sweepstakes for him. One, you know what I'm saying, the whole throwing thing we talked about last time, I just think that, you know what I'm saying, again, I think if he was Burrow, if he was Justin Herbert, if he was any other quarterback who is like that, I think that teams would be blowing their phone up trying to get him. You know
Those quarterbacks definitely got some linemen that can definitely pass block, by the way, too. Shout out to them.
I'm just speaking on this, like this the throwing aspect. You know what I'm saying? But I think they would be blowing the phone up for him. But even that, you know what I'm saying? If I know Lamar Jackson is a box office talent, like in my opinion, he is, and I have a team, I don't give a damn what my line look like. You know what I'm saying? If I know that he's available, all I have to do is give up 2 firsts. I'm blowing that. What you know? You know what I'm saying?
It ain't just 2 firsts, though. It comes with money.
Yeah, you gotta give him a contract, you know what I'm saying? But at the same time, though, he's already been franchised, which means you have a whole other year before you pay him. Because he's getting paid that money, that period. No matter where he go, that's what he's getting paid because he's been franchise tagged. So you still have a whole other year to do your own negotiation with him and try to get him to a long-term deal. You know what I'm saying? There's going to be a new salary cap when the new season starts. You know what I'm saying? Going to be a different salary cap next year when it's time for negotiations again. Like, you definitely have some time to kind of get in there, earn his trust, and get him to a big contract. But the other reason, again, my second reason why I think that teams are pulling out is because, and I notice this is a trend now, he doesn't have any representation. You know what I'm saying? Like, he doesn't have an agent. You know what I'm saying? He doesn't have somebody go in there and speak for him. You know what they said during the combine is where most of these deals are met. When the New York Giants went to the combine last week and watched all these players do their thing at the combine for those 4 or 5 days, whatever it was, Daniel Jones, we're going to talk about in a minute, his agent was there talking to the Giants. Got a deal done today. You know what I'm saying? Lamar Jackson, the Ravens is over there. They got to go see talent. They ain't sitting in Baltimore talking to you. They're going to talk to talent. You don't have an agent to go. Your mama's been handling this for you, and now you don't have representation. Richard Sherman, future Hall of Fame player, he was his own agent. You know what I'm saying? He's not playing anywhere now. Teams want to speak to somebody professional in that realm to make deals, not you. And so when you don't have representation, sometimes it ends up being a backfire. You know what I'm saying?
I can agree with that. I didn't mean to cut you off. I can agree with that. I feel like having representation is always important because as an athlete, whether you're a football player, basketball player, whatever it is, your main focus is to focus on your job, which is playing that sport. So whenever you're having to spend the time playing ball and then off the field, you're trying to focus on the business aspect of it, that can ultimately end up taking your focus off of football and then also giving you a misconception of what the business is actually like. So that's why it's important, I feel like, to make sure you have an agent on your side. I never really believed in hiring within the family to be able to run your money and run your business, even though most of the time they have great intentions. But in this situation, it's like, nah, bro, like, you definitely need to have that backup and you need to have that that representation, somebody who can go out there and speak for you, let your talent speak for you by themselves, and then let your agent go over there and make these deals for you and whatnot. But going back to what you were saying, Devin, I was going to add on to that. As far as the teams that I would see him playing for, I feel like he's not going to leave Baltimore because I feel like he's kind of talking himself into a hole to where he's going to have to stay there. Because, like, I talked to you about it, talked to a few of my homeboys because we talk about this all the time. We be talking about the podcast. I feel like with him, the biggest thing right now is just money. He's already made it known. This is how much money I want. I'm standing 10 toes on it, and this is the money I'm trying to make right now. And if you're not offering me it, I don't want to play here. So then Baltimore backdoored it. It's non-exclusive, right? Mm. They put that non-exclusive to where it was like, all right, bet, cool. Whatever people offer you, we can match it. But it's going to kind of make it hard. It's going to put him in a difficult situation to kind of get what he wants at the end of the day. Because you can stay here, get the bread you want, but you're not going to have the targets. You're not going to have really the team that you want to be successful and actually win games. So it's like, do you want the money or do you want to make this pay cut to go play for another team to possibly go win some championships and whatnot? You know what I'm saying? But as far as the teams I would like to see him play for, I want him to leave Baltimore. I want to shake up the league. I want him to go somewhere else. I hear the Jets seem like they might be kind of getting to a deal to where they might be able to get A-Rod or something. Him going back to Miami would be cool, having those two deep threats with Waddle and Hill and whatnot. That'll be fun football to watch and whatnot. Honestly, I know we say this all the time. See him go to Atlanta, that would be cool. That's going to shake up the culture over there and stuff too. I can see him fitting in there, but I definitely would want him to kind of go to another team, shake up the league a little bit.
For sure, I do think. With that being said, though, when you were speaking, Trey, I think even though I think he's going to be in Baltimore, I think that Baltimore it would be best for them to just let him go. The reason why is because like, for instance, let's say I'm a GM. and both of y'all are football stars. You know what I'm saying? Receiver, running back, and y'all came to me and said, "Hey, I want running back. I want 4 years, $85 million. You know what I'm saying? You deserved it. Led the league in rushing this year. Pro Bowl player, first team, whatever. And a receiver, and you was a running back. You know what I'm saying? You want 3 years, $62 million. And I'm just like, nah. And y'all telling me y'all want this money fully guaranteed. I'm going back and forth from off season last year, throughout the whole season this year, and now the off season now again. Y'all ain't signed. You know what I'm saying? For example, Daniel Jones and Saquon Barkley. Anyway, y'all aren't signed. And so now I franchise tag you, which players hate, by the way. They hate to be franchise tagged because the NFL all it takes is one hit, and your injury, that injury can change your whole career. So if he get hit next year and blow out his knee, he get that $37 million, but he may not ever get no big long-term contract no more again, which means he missed out on all these these hundreds of tens of millions that he was asking for. You know what I'm saying? That's why the whole the Dak Prescott situation, right? So my whole thought is this: like, he wanted to stay in Baltimore, sign me for this. They offered him this. He said, no, I want this. They offered him this. He said, no, I want this. All right, cool, franchise tag, right? Now he's franchise tag. If no other team trades for him, Lamar ain't gonna be happy in that locker room. He ain't gonna be happy being around that coach and that GM, you know what I'm saying, or that GM and that owner, whoever. He gonna be like, I don't feel like wearing this purple, but since I'm here anyway, I like playing football, I'm gonna play. You know what I'm saying? So now it's almost like, what's best for your franchise? At this point, even though I think he's gonna somehow end up being in Baltimore, I do think if I was the Baltimore Ravens, I would be taking phone calls nonstop and finding somewhere else to get them, because for the culture, what I'm trying to build, that can't be you can't have your star player and the most important player on the team, you know what I'm saying, ruffled feathers. So
yeah.
I got the idea that just popped in my head. How does it sound for Baltimore trying to get Anthony Richardson? And because I know you said that it would be good for him to go somewhere and actually sit behind a quarterback and learn and whatnot, but the situation Baltimore's in, imagine they pick him up and they just like, hey, look, we know you can run the ball, you can pass the ball, we can throw you in the same offense that we had Lamar in, and we know like we may not put really high expectations on you, but that can be an offense he can thrive in with the type of player he is.
Yeah, I agree. That to me that looks promising for the Ravens if they trade with the Raiders.
Mm-hmm.
So since the Raiders have pick 7, I could see if Anthony Richardson is still on the board by pick 7, I could see the Ravens trading Lamar Jackson to the Raiders for that pick, get Anthony Richardson, and then it's an even swap, but they still took that second one or whatever, and they can negotiate the back end. But the only thing is I'm looking at the cap space, right? Chicago is at $96 million. Atlanta is at $67 million. Houston is at $41 million. Las Vegas is at 39. New York is at 37. Cincinnati is at 35. New England 32. And the next jump is 11 million more, and that's Seahawks at 23. So you can see a lot of people don't have money.
Chicago has the most.
Chicago has 96.
So you can y'all see the number 1 pick? Hey, we'll give you Lamar. Give us that first overall pick and next year's pick.
And Justin Fields.
Ooh.
Now, do you do that for Chicago?
Hell yeah.
Thank you. I ain't gonna lie. Come on.
96 million. That's a lot of money.
Yeah.
You're saying, hey, I can give you this 32 and we can sign you for another deal, for next year.
Mm-hmm.
And we're not tripping about these 2 first-round picks. We got Lamar Jackson. Ravens get the first pick. Who you thinking they're going to get? Bryce Young.
Mm-hmm.
Boom. It's done.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm looking at it like that.
Hey, Baltimore, you got 3 GMs right here. Listen, y'all need to go ahead and call Chicago right now and say, look, no, wait, hold on. Because they would get Justin Fields, though, in that deal.
Oh, true.
Yeah. So.
Shit. Will Anderson. Hey, Jalen Carter. Let's go get him.
Mm-hmm.
Now we're a quarterback. We got the quarterback. Now we can go get a wide out, at pick 23 because we'll still have that. No, they want to trade with. Hell no, they'll keep that. If you get Lamar Jackson, they'll keep that 23rd pick, the Ravens. So you can go get Jackson Smith and Jigba if he's still there, or get Zay Flowers. So now you got Justin Fields there with a new weapon, and you just picked the first pick, and you got Jalen Carter or you got Will Anderson Jr.
So you're saying they would trade Lamar just for that first round pick?
And the next year pick.
Yeah.
Oh, and the next year pick. Okay, I thought you were saying that they got pick 23, right?
Yeah.
I thought you were saying they would give Lamar plus swap pick 23 with pick number 1.
Nah, so the trade would be Lamar go to the Bears. The Bears give up the first pick. Ravens still got that pick in the 23rd, and they're gonna the Bears would be like, all right, well, we'll give you the next year's pick too.
Do you think that'll be a draft day trade, or you think that if they were to do that hypothetically, you think if it was you, would you do it before or on the draft day?
On the draft day, I feel like that's gonna shake it up.
I make everybody like, shoot, oh my god, what's our board?
That's gonna shake up. That's gonna shake up everybody's mock draft.
Yeah,
who's on our board?
Yeah.
Oh my god, our board. Like, I ain't gonna lie though, but that's to me that's a ding ding ding. That's an air horn. Hey, listen, Baltimore, go call Chicago.
It'll be crazy if that actually happened. We're gonna have to run this back and play this exact clip because
tag all of them.
Yeah.
Like we told y'all.
Nah, that'd be crazy. But like,
but the most important thing though, Lamar would have to be like, I'll play there.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Because he could sit out essentially if he wanted to, if he didn't get his bread. Right?
Yeah, he could.
But I look at it as like, dude, you sitting out off an injury, not off an MVP season. So I feel like people would be like, yeah, they're gonna pay you what you're worth if they have more money. Yeah. Bro, he can't throw, bro. Right. But whatever. But yeah, just looking at the cap, even though people can restructure the cap, they can like work around it. I feel like once you get to the 30s, 30 mil, like it ain't too much if you got to guarantee them 32 for the year. So that means you can only get one other player for $2 million a year.
They have 60 left over. The Bears do that. That's the smartest team to go get them.
Smartest team. Even Atlanta is second, but it's like Atlanta has to build more pieces, right? I feel like the Bears, they're not in win now mode, but you can build people around them because you got all that money from Roquan Smith.
I ain't seen no reports about Chicago. I know they said we gonna keep we leaving Fields.
It could be a dark horse.
But let me tell you something. If I'm Chicago, for a lot of reasons, I'm calling Baltimore nonstop. Hey, what you mean about JF? That's what we call him, JF. You know what I'm saying?
He already said he don't like playing in Chicago. He don't like playing in the cold.
So why the hell he just re-signed then? Or did he get a contract? I mean, I know it's for the money, but
he's still in his rookie contract.
He still a rookie contract.
Okay.
Oh, wow. Somebody gave you, X amount of $1 million. You worry about if it's cold, man. You better go play.
I mean, he played college football. He played college football in Ohio, so he should be all right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
he should be all right. But he just had a preference.
Man, I stand on principle.
I ain't gonna lie. If New England drafted me, I'd be like, damn, really, Bill?
Damn, really? But you gonna play?
I'm gonna play, but I'm like, come on, Bill.
Come on, Bill. You gave me a shot, Bill.
Can we get a dome built? Because I mean, this is crazy. I ain't gonna lie.
They got the bread for it.
Like, your name is not Tom, last name Brady. You can't ask for shit.
He ain't playing no more anyway. I mean,
they didn't make a statue of my boy Tom.
You never know.
He already said today. You already said today?
Yeah, he quoted that. He was like, bro, y'all tripping.
With the cat?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he ain't come back. That's dope. That's good. That's good Lamar Jackson talk. You know what I'm saying? A little more nicer than last time. You know what I'm saying?
Try hating.
Nah, just fact telling. About another quarterback real fast. I want to bring this guy up.
Because he has your name.
Well, no, because it's really just news. I mean, but that's a bonus too. Thank you. You know what I'm saying? Daniel Jones.
Saying that Tinkerbell ass.
You know what I'm saying? Daniel Jones. You know what I'm saying? Daniel Jones. Jones.
Yes.
Signs.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Signs 4 years, $160 million with the team he got drafted by the Giants. And I put this graphic up here for y'all to see. They compared his salary for next year. It says potential average salary is $48.75 million per season, compared to Patrick Mahomes, who's making $31.95 million per season. That's $17 million difference. And so, and again, that's what I was saying earlier. The salary cap, it goes up every year, so these numbers really aren't fair to try to necessarily compare. But just looking at it in principle, Daniel Jones and Patrick Mahomes. And I it's crazy because Daniel Jones, again, who has a representative, he has an agent. He betted on himself. He said,
Who's his agent?
I don't know.
David Mulugeta.
Okay, cool. Yeah, he's a big time agent. He said, I want to make at least $45 million a year. 48. You know what I'm saying? And they signed him in the franchise tag Saquon Barkley. So they basically bring the band back going forward in the NFC. How y'all feel about it?
I think they have a solid team. I like the Giants going into the season. They need a wideout bad. And I don't think they need to go slot like they did with Kadarius Toney. Kadarius Toney was solid, but he wasn't solid for them. Now he's a Super Bowl champ, but Jackson Smith and Jigba, I like that pick. But you need
Jackson Smith. Right. Go ahead.
Bro's my cousin. No, I'm playing.
My cousin.
But look, but I like Jackson Smith. I think he's the best receiver on the draft right now. I know you're gonna say Jordan Addison, but Jordan Addison with his 40 is not the guy. Jordan Addison could be there for that pick. I think that'll help him out. But I think they can get a bigger target like Quentin Johnston. Let's see if Quentin Johnston falls, because he didn't run a 40 either. I think Quentin Johnston will be better. Like, I think with the G-men, they need a big target. Like, I don't think you need those slender slot receiver guys because that didn't work out. You got Sterling Shepard. You got some of those receivers that's, smaller frame. I think you should get a big target, catch and rated. Someone to replace Kenny Golladay because he didn't produce.
Yeah, I feel like going with that, I feel like the Giants depended too much on their run game with having Saquon whenever he wasn't injured. So, like, when it came to the receivers, it was just like, all right, bet we could do some RPOs, like some quick receivers, some short passes, medium passes, whatnot. But I feel like every NFL team needs to have some type of deep threat. You got to be able to spread the field. You got to be able to dump it off in the flats. You know what I'm saying? Some hook the curls, like that areas and whatnot. Then you also need that deep ball. Like, you need somebody who can run a 9 route and run past somebody. You know what I'm saying? Like, every team, well, no matter if they're a deep ball threat or not, like, you still need that big target, somebody who's willing to run across the middle of the field. And, you know what I'm saying? Like Michael Thomas. They say he's a slant god or whatever. You know what I'm saying? That's like his specialty. Big receivers, it's hard to cover him whenever he makes that inside move, catch a quick pass right there, gain about 8 to 12 yards on the quick slant and whatnot. Like, every team needs that versatile type of wide receiver. So I definitely feel what you're saying. But as far as him getting his money, I mean, shoot, get your money, bro. Like,
No,
I always had a bitterness towards him when he got walked down. Well, he didn't even get walked down. He got sniped whenever he had that open touchdown run.
I bet you won't let it happen again with the money he making.
He's not gonna break no type of long run like that again. I promise you.
I see bro trying to compare some stuff.
You talking about?
That's why
I saw my Danny Jones when he got sniped when he was on that long run.
Sorry, he ran a 4.49.
No, it's cool. I just want to. So I was really reading this up to say, like the 40. I don't put a lot of emphasis on the 40. I'm a sprinter track. You know what I'm saying? My whole life been a sprinter track.
I'm slow.
Anyway, no, definitely not that. Don't believe that. Anyway,
slow as molasses.
that's cool. Well, I'll beat you. It doesn't matter. No, listen. You know what I'm saying. What I'm saying though is
that boy been drinking too many Dos Equis.
Nah, this is all just BioLite.
Too much BioLite. Too much
BioLite.
electrolyte.
You know what I'm saying? But nah, I do believe I've always loved like the Deshaun Jacksons, the Randy Mosses, those fast blazing guys. You know what I'm saying? That's like, ooh, that's fast. Not all those guys are like technicians of the position where they can run all 9 routes or run the whole route tree. And I think that matters. You know what I'm saying? Especially y'all being football players, y'all definitely know about that. And so, like Devontae Adams, you know what I'm saying? He's either number 1 or number 2 as best receiver in the league right now, right? I'm sure we all agree. His combine 4.56. Another great receiver in the league who might get traded here soon, DeAndre Hopkins 4.57.
You traded where soon?
Well, you know he's on the trading block.
I thought you said here, like you talking about Dallas.
No, I'm saying he might get traded.
Here soon.
Like here soon, like traded like. No, I'm not like you. Everybody in the world will go to Falcons. No. Anyway, no, you know what I'm saying? But I'm just saying. Anyway,
wait,
Jordan
time out. Who had its faster split? Go back to D-Hop.
Between the 3.
Okay. Yeah.
1.62, 1.64, and then Jordan Addison had a 1.56,
Okay.
4.49. So
Yeah, Jordan Addison, route technician.
yeah, for sure. And what was I need to bring his up. I'm on live. Let's get his up here too. What's his name? Jackson. Your cousin.
He
right?
didn't run the 40.
He
So,
didn't.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Whenever
Cool.
you're looking for it.
That's
wait
right.
for
Oh,
the
because he also did tweak his hamstring again. Yeah. I ain't drafting him for that reason only.
Yeah.
Like hamstring did be out for a whole season.
He ran the routes though,
That's cool. But he also said, man, I tweaked it a little bit, but we'll be all right. Nah, he didn't even say that.
because he wanted to make sure he secure his draft pick.
I'll tell you, if I was a GM, who? No, we ain't worry about the guy with the half a name. Next.
Wow.
Did Quentin Johnson run his? He didn't.
But you can just see it, 6'4". He leaving people when he running routes. Like you can see it. Like, but it is definitely important. I think with the way the receiver position is evolving, like that, they're highlighting more slot guys. Like they're placing receivers. Hey, you are a slot guy. Like Jackson Smith and Jigba is a slot guy. Jordan Addison is a wide receiver number 1, depending on where he goes. He could easily be a wide receiver number 2, or he could definitely be successful as a slot guy. Jalen Hyatt, slot guy. Like, I don't think he's a wide receiver number 1 because he's not that fluid with the routes 1 through 9. You know, so like
he's not as versatile.
Yeah, he's just fast.
Well, with me, if I'm drafting especially if it's first round, if I'm drafting me a receiver, I need to get an X. You know what I'm saying? I need somebody who can come in here and change the franchise.
Quentin Johnston, Jordan Addison, according to where he goes, like those are my top 2 X receivers. But literally, Jackson Smith and Jigba is a slot.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm saying.
And I don't think that's what the Giants need. Like Jackson Smith can go somewhere else where he could just be an asset versus someone that's in dire need of you got to be the guy right now. You know, even though he had more yards than Chris Olave and Garrett Wilson, when they all three of them played together last year, he had 1,500 yards, and that was like 400 or 500 more than the other two, just because. But he was dominant in the slot, you know. So I just feel like some people like just now like cornerback, they're now highlighting slot corners, nickel corners. People that can, you know, play. It could be a hybrid safety, or however they want to name it, but it's really a nickel cornerback. You know, you got
it's really just a small linebacker.
You got players like Trevius Hodges Tomlinson, LaDainian Tomlinson's nephew. Surprisingly, I didn't know he was that short. We the same height, 5'7", but he a dog, and he's a slot, but he played outside at TCU. You know, so like people like that are evolving to play in the slot, being a technician at the slot positions on offense and defense.
Yeah, I think that's because like the game's just evolving so much to where nowadays like it used to just be pro style offense. You get up underneath the center, then we start going into just really pro style, get underneath the center, and then you get back in the shotgun. And when you're in the shotgun, 8 times out of 10, they know you're throwing the ball. Like, especially if you got a elusive back in the backfield. Like when I was watching the Patriots, I always knew I was like, okay, when they got Sony Michel in the backfield, like he can run the ball, but they was gonna use him coming out the backfield. When him and Tom was back there in shotgun, I was like, okay, yeah, we finna throw this. Yeah. But when White was back there, I was like, okay, or White or Rex Burkhead, for instance, like because he played in Nebraska, my brother, I knew they was gonna run the ball. Yeah. But nowadays, you know, with quarterbacks like Pat Mahomes, so I just talked about Lamar Jackson, like a lot of elusive quarterbacks that's becoming the norm. Your slot receiver guys got to be one of, if not the top receiver on the team, because when you're doing these RPOs, you're looking for that inside guy. Because that's the easiest person to get the ball to, the quickest. When you got an outside receiver, most of the time those are decoys. You might got one dude, like you might have the outside. If you got trips, you might have the outside running the 9, inside dude might run a dig, and then you got the very slot guy running like a squirrel route or something like that. The running back, have him doing a delay swing or something like that. Like you got to have like something to get the ball out very quickly. You know what I'm saying? But then whenever you got the time, I usually see it like later in the games when you're taking those shots. You know what I'm saying? Calling timeouts, huddling up and whatnot. That's when it's going to be like, all right, bet. Let's solo up D-Hop over here on this side. Let's have him run a one-on-one with this DB and all that type of stuff. Because when you have those big threats on the outside, they're going to get double teamed. Yeah. It's going to be very hard to get them the ball. So now you got to compensate. All right, we got to throw this mid-range pass to our slot receiver or wide receiver number 2 or something like that. That's why I feel like the Chiefs were so successful, because they had the deep threat with Tariq, but they knew them safeties and corners and linebackers are like, all right, bet. We can't let him get over the top. Then once he starts like spazzing out, because disclaimer, I'd much rather have a receiver that's quick off the line and very high agility versus having one that can just outrun you in a straight dead-on sprint. Mm-hmm. That's why Tariq Hill was always getting open no matter what. And when you got him in the game, DBs are having a hard time covering him. They're going to start double teaming. Might have a linebacker try to shade over him. That's when you're going to have Travis Kelce pop open. That's when you can have those small spurts or small moments when you got Pat Mahomes running, taking off, gaining 10, 15 yards on a run. You know what I'm saying? The run game opened wide up. So I feel what you're saying. That's why, like, I play slot as well, too. Like, at H-back, I was tight end, fullback, running back, slot receiver. I was in the slot, you know what I'm saying? Like,
show your range.
Yeah.
Show your range.
Athlete, for real. So, I know what comes with that. Like, even my homeboy, like, Slick, wanted to play the beat for her. He was a crazy slot receiver for us in high school, and he was the one, like, he was getting the ball a lot, scoring a lot of our touchdowns and whatnot. So I know the effectiveness of a slot receiver. But with that brings me back full circle to what I said before. It is important to always have that big target on the field. So depending on who you got on your team, whoever you feel like I know when the Saints got Olave and they had Michael Thomas at that point in time, I was like, that's a great combination. Now, from what I had seen, I know my brother watched the Saints more than I do, but they said Olave didn't really produce as much as everybody thought he would. I know he did decent, but he wasn't producing as much as they thought he would. But if he was on top of his shit, and then you got Michael Thomas, that's a crazy combo.
Yeah, because you keep Chris Olave at the slot.
You feel me?
Yeah.
Instead of having to rotate people and whatnot.
But if you don't have an X and then you're trying to draft a slot, you only leave your slot to be the guy. Mm-hmm. You know, and it's like you can only do so much. You limit yourself when you don't have that outside receiver. Yeah. That's why I was like, for the Giants' sake, you got to go outside first and then work back on inside, because you tried to do inside first and then you didn't take care of outside. You thought Kenny Golladay was going to be your outside, but nothing worked out. So you got rid of Kadarius Toney and you got rid of Kenny Golladay because neither one worked out. Go out, then go in, you know? And I feel like teams that can go in is like Houston, who has a lot of picks, right? But if you do C.J. Stroud at pick 2, then you get Jackson Smith, like that combination is cool. You can keep Brandon Cooks on the outside. You know what I'm saying? You can go get a free agent, figure something out like that. But you got a slot and the outside guy.
You know how to compensate for that, bro? This is why I didn't like playing tight end. But I love tight ends, bro. Like, my favorite tight end growing up was Jimmy Graham and Gronk. And the thing about Gronk is you could put it, when you line him up dolo, especially if it was a goal line situation, but if you line him up dolo, scratch that. I'm going to bring it back to somebody you can do in midfield. You can line up Kelsey out there. You know what I'm saying? Andrews from Baltimore, right? Is that his name? You can put him out there. Kyle Pitts. You can put him out there. When you got that big target out there, that's going to keep that corner occupied. Even if he runs a deep route, even if, you got to run a fade with him or something like that, something in the red zone, that whole flat area is going to open up for them slot receivers or a running back slipping out there and stuff. That's why I believe, like, certain players, if you're a team player, you got to know certain players, you're going to be a decoy. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Not everybody can get the ball. Not everybody can have they shine all the time. Just like Pat Mahomes said on one of their podcasts, there was one game Tariq had like a couple 100 yards, touchdowns, and Kelsey only had like one catch. You know what I'm saying? Or for a couple of yards and whatnot. But the next game, Kelsey turned up. But I say that to say, like, you got to be able to work together as a team to be successful. So you piece together your team strategically, put people as decoys, not just decoys solely, but like, okay, yeah, you line up, you got Tariq Hill right here in the slot. You know that's going to be some damage. You can put Kelsey outside of him, even on the outside, just as a decoy. The corners got to stay on him because it's like, okay, I'm not going to just like wave him off as if he's not going to get the ball because they can definitely throw it up to him down the sideline over here. You know what I'm saying? Even having Juju Smith-Schuster like in the mix and whatnot, like that's crazy. But if I'm a team and I got a solid slot and I got a tight end that I know that can be versatile, he can put his hand in the dirt, pop out in the slot, go wide out, and all that type of stuff. I feel like, yeah, I can go pick up one more receiver and actually make something shake. But it's all about, like I said, it's all about, the team coming together and like actually game planning and meshing together to be able to do that. But yeah, Gronk's the GOAT.
It's like having a piece of cake or a piece of pie. And the pie, you notice the crust first. Ooh, that crust looks good. That's the outside. And then you eat the inside, check the filling. The cake, you notice the outside. Ooh, that frosting, the icing looks real nice. Ooh, it looks good. That's the outside. Get that X first. Another player.
Hungry ass.
I ain't gonna lie, I'm a little hungry.
Boy, got a
You know
sweet
what I'm saying? Another big name who may seemingly be on the move is Aaron Rodgers. And so I put this up here on the on the graphic for everybody watching. Aaron Rodgers, he hasn't announced or there hasn't been any announcement that he's going anywhere specifically, but the team officials from the Jets did fly to Green Bay today to meet with Aaron Rodgers in person. Per one of the sources from ESPN. And so Sauce Gardner, you know what I'm saying, the one who was begging, he did tweet and he said, hey, he tagged Aaron Rodgers, said, hey, 12, you know what I'm saying, I promise you if you become a Jet, I won't pick you off in practice and I'll burn the cheese head. You know, it's an infamous cheese that he wore week 1 of the regular season. And then Breece Hall, you know what I'm saying, rookie phenom running back, he just put, don't mind me just manifesting. And so I put those two graphics here on the screen for everybody to see that, the Jets, the players, the personnel who actually play on the field and would be alongside, Aaron Rodgers going in battle every week. They want him there. And I ain't gonna lie, I mean, Aaron Rodgers is one of my favorite quarterbacks of all time. I like his swag. You know what I'm saying? He's real, like, super confident, you know what I'm saying, in his ability, even to this day. And so you've been saying this, Devin, that the Jets are just a quarterback away. I think he is a great quarterback to have. I think in that what I would say with your phrase, you always say a quarterback away. I would just say they're just the right quarterback away. You know what I'm saying? Like certain quarterbacks could go over there, Daniel Jones, Lamar Jackson, in my opinion, Derek Carr, like they would probably still not be bad, but still not get over that hump. Aaron Rodgers, that name in itself, A-Rod, you know what I'm saying? A-Ron, you know what I'm saying? Bad man, like that guy, he can
discount double check.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? He can get the job done for sure. So I think that, if he's able to go there, which is kind of crazy, like to even see him go to the Jets. Like the Jets become super relevant. That's the biggest market
Joe
in all.
Namath,
Sell Gilman's number. The biggest market in all of sports, New York, the mecca for marketability. A way to end his career. I think, you know what I'm saying? And it's crazy too because it's almost like he's following his mentor, Brett Favre. Brett Favre did play for the Jets before he retired too. So pretty interesting.
Yeah. No, I agree.
Yeah, that's tough. Shout out my boy Cali Trees, man. He's the only Jets fan I've ever met in my life. Hardcore Jets fan.
One of the counselors at our school is a Jets fan too.
But no, yeah, I like A-Rod with the Jets. I feel like because they've shown that they were all in on him first. They've shown that they were interested in him first, and I think that's a big deal. We talked about this week at least 2 or 3 times where we said, like, imagine someone said, hey, Mr. Armstrong, we really want you to come play for us. We really do. But we want you to just, look at your other options. We're going to look at our other options. There's somebody that we're really interested in. And you keep saying it on social media that, hey, they really want A-Rod. And I'm looking like I'm second to them. How would you feel as a person? As a person, not even as a player, as a person.
I wouldn't even consider him, really.
You would consider him, right? And I think the Jets is really the promising place for him because they considered him first. Mm-hmm. Derek Carr was never going to go to the Jets because they didn't consider him first. They were trying to see, hey, A-Rod sitting in the dark. He meditating. Cool. Well, we're waiting on him, his decision. So you can go continue to do what you want. Hey, if I'm Lamar Jackson, I don't want to go to New York because I'm thinking like, oh, you probably thought about me third.
Mm-mm.
You didn't even think about me second. You thought about me third to fulfill, the quarterback position. So it's like, why would I feel like I wouldn't feel fully welcome. I know business.
You wouldn't feel wanted.
Wanted. Yeah, I wouldn't feel wanted, but like it's like, hey, you got Joe Namath speaking on A-Rod. He ain't speak on nobody else's behalf. He spoke on A-Rod's behalf. So with that being said, it's like, hey, I think that's the place where they need to seal the deal. And I would love to see the Jets in the Super Bowl. We ain't seen them since Super Bowl III? Super Bowl II. Like, it's been forever.
Long time.
Long time. So it's like, dang, A-Rod, you did that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, Joe Namath retired his jersey for you. Like, boom. New York franchise, the biggest franchise in the NFL, is now back. But it's for the Jets, not the Giants.
Definitely. You know what I'm saying? Kind of the Clippers over the Lakers. You know what I'm saying? So,
like, literally, the Jets is like the Clippers and the Giants is like the Lakers in New York, if you think about it. Yeah.
I also want to say, since we're on quarterbacks, shout out to my boy Derek Carr. I ain't gonna lie, I definitely wanted the Cowboys to trade him for Dak straight up. But shout out to him, finding a new spot, a new home to call home, a place he can move his family in New Orleans. I hope they, treat him the same way they treated Drew Brees and other players. I hope they fall in love with him, embrace him. I saw Michael Thomas tweeted immediately. He said, "Thank you, Jesus." You know what I'm saying? A lot of players were tweeting. They were really happy about it. And a lot of the players were actually lobbying to get Derek Carr. Of all these other quarterbacks, they were lobbying to get him to come down. They weren't trying to get Aaron Rodgers.
System.
They weren't trying to get Lamar Jackson.
Relatable.
You know what I'm saying? They weren't trying to get Lamar. They wanted somebody who could be a good locker room guy, somebody who could fit in with the system. And so I'm happy for him. Really happy for him. So for sure. Man, a little more deeper, conversation piece, with John Morant. Did y'all want to jump anything football before we jump in that?
Nah, man.
I'm good.
Yeah. So John Morant, man, if you haven't seen it, if you haven't been, relative to what's going on in the NBA, John Morant, and I'll start by saying this, he's actually one of the stars of the league. I'm sure we all agree to that. He's one of the stars of the league. He's young. He's one of the, they always, in the NBA, they always say, who are the stars 25 and younger? Him, Jason Tatum, Zion, like Luka, they all fall into that category because they're Trae Young. They're all 25 or younger. But anyway, so John Morant has recently been having like a little small resume of just negative things happening to him under his name. He was apparently in a vehicle. They fired shots at the vehicle while he was in the vehicle because he got into like an altercation with some people at a game. Then he assaulted a 17-year-old boy recently, and then he was on Instagram at a club holding a firearm and showing off a firearm. And initially, he got suspended for 2 games with the Grizzlies. And I was actually in pre-production before we went live with the show. Something popped up and it said John Morant could be away from the Grizzlies for weeks. It's going to be about the NBA's investigation, the Colorado police investigation, and how John Morant is going to be seeking help over the next period of days and weeks. And so kind of reminds me, as far as the suspension is concerned, it reminds me of the Kyrie Irving thing with the anti-Semitic comments or support he was doing with the earlier in the season, or was it earlier in the season, right? Yeah, earlier in the season. But just for and I don't want to make it about a money thing, but I will say this too. I've always said this: like, if I'm a GM and I'm investing so much money in you, I'm investing a lot of it in you. If I'm a GM, like I'm not gonna necessarily put all these clauses, but I will have a conversation with you and say, hey, listen, I need you to keep your nose clean and move a certain way. Because at the end of the day, like, it's not just your name, but it's also my name. It's also my franchise. It's also my organization I'm trying to run. You the face of it. One thing I always point out, when people don't notice too, when Cam Newton, before he got drafted by the Panthers, the old owner who just recently died, he went to Auburn, met with Cam Newton. He said, hey, I want to make you the number 1 pick. He said, I have a couple of stipulations, though. And Cam Newton was like, what is it? He said, I don't want you getting no tattoos. I don't want you wearing no earrings. I don't want no wild hair. I want you to be a clean-cut guy. You finna be the franchise quarterback, I'm a franchise player for my team. Cam Newton said, whatever you need me to do, I'm going to do it. You notice those first few years of Cam, he had like your hair, waves, clean cut, had no tattoos, no earrings. He was just a clean cut dude. That's how it was his first 3-4 years before they had new ownership. And sometimes you got to have that mindset when people are investing so much into you and willing to give you so much. I think John Morant just needs I think he needs somebody to like a true circle of some no men to help him make better choices, because he's heading down a path where this is gonna be one of the saddest stories we've ever seen if he don't get some turnaround quick.
Bro, man, I'm gonna try to say this as nicely as possible. Ja's an idiot. Like, he's a great player, bro. Like,
my bad.
Nah, like, if you see this job, please don't send no ops my way. Like, I like you as a player, bro, but I gotta call a spade a spade. Why are you doing some of the things that you're doing as a star NBA basketball player? Like, I feel like if you're going out, like, there's nothing wrong with going out, enjoying yourself, hitting a few clubs, doing all that type of stuff, but don't put yourself in a situation that you possibly can't get out of. Like, I understand you in Memphis, like, he's getting engulfed into the culture outside of basketball, I feel like. There's no reason to be hopping on live, like, holding a gun and whatnot. Like, yeah, you could be toting, like, protecting yourself at all times. Like, I always recommend that. But it's just the way you're supposed to move. Like, my people always taught me this, like, bro, if you gonna carry, like, I got my license to carry, I'm always protect myself, but it's like, you're not gonna walk around just holding it in your hand the whole time, flaunting around. Like, keep it on you. Ain't nobody supposed to know you got it on you. You know what I'm saying? Like, when you got it like that, whether it's money, whether it's anything, you know what I'm saying, in your possession that somebody else might want, you don't need to be going around flaunting it. You know what I'm saying? Always keep it discreet. Always keep it within yourself and whatnot. But I just feel like he has too much to lose. He's young, you know, very successful basketball player. And just like, what's his name? Be arguing with Skip all the time. Uncle Shannon.
Mm-hmm.
It's like he said, he's like, he told him, he was like, bro, you was not like that. Like, I'm not going to go as far as to say that because I don't know y'all like that, but it's just like, bro, you have too much to lose right now. You are worth hundreds of millions of dollars. And now you're risking ruining the chances of you being able to take care of your mom, take care of your dad, take care of your family, form generational wealth because you wanted to go out and have fun and all that stuff, or your version of fun. I saw a video of Michael B. Jordan earlier. He was just like, bruh, I told myself I'm using these first early years of my life to keep my nose clean, stay focused, and work. That way in the second half of my life, I can have fun, don't got to worry about doing nothing. So right now, it's the same thing with hooping. Like, you just got into the league. You're you've established yourself, dominant dunker, dominant basketball player. You're popular all over the place. But if you let the league right now, it's not like as if he left the imprint right now to where it's like, oh, we're going to be talking about Ja for the rest of our lives. If he left the league right now today, he still got a lot of stuff that he got to end up doing to get himself up there in that GOAT talk and whatnot. But it's just like, you've established yourself as a great basketball player, but you still have so much to do, and putting yourself in this goofy situation to where, you know, there's rumors that he done beat up a little kid, and there's rumors that he done upped a gun on a teenage kid before, and moving with a mob, and the mob is pointing laser beams at people outside the game and stuff because they getting into it with people. Like, even the celebration on TV is always being smart. Like, when we played on TV games in high school, they always told us, our coaches told us, like, hey, be mindful of what you do because everybody can see you when you're on camera. Mm-hmm. And when Buddy shot that three-pointer and Ja was on the sideline doing this next to him and stuff, it's like, bro, how does that look? You got little kids that look up to you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they gonna do it.
Yeah, and, like, I don't mean to interrupt you again, but it's like with, like, NBA Youngboy, I kind of look at them as the same person. Like, NBA Youngboy, he has a lot of motion. Like, he has a lot of influence upon the young kids in our generation right now. But when you rap about certain things, move a certain way, beefing with people publicly, talking about spending on ops and stuff like that, kids who are very impressionable, like just like the kids y'all teach, bro, like, they're very impressionable. They see something, they're gonna be like, oh man, like, I know my nieces and nephews do the same thing. I gotta watch how I act around them. Not saying that I be acting wild or nothing, but it's like, they look up to you. They look up to the older people, the people with influence, and they be like, oh, I want to act like them. I want to be like them. Us growing up, we was into sports. I'm looking at my brother, his friends. They all going to college to play ball. I'm watching NFL, NBA, MLB, all these players, seeing how they carry themselves, the Derek Jeters, the Alex Rodriguez, all those people in baseball, football players. I'm just like, okay, I see how they moving, keeping their nose clean. Like, at least in front of everybody, behind closed doors, I don't know what you're doing, but you are who you look up to, and you are who you surround yourself around. Mm-hmm. So like you said, if he stays away from the yes men and gets around some no men sometimes, they're only going to build him up to be a better, more successful man, and also a human being, but also a basketball player and a businessman. Because at the end of the day, he can go through his whole career being like this, but then it can end up tarnishing his reputation after he gets out the NBA to where nobody can feel like they want to work with him, not because he's a bad person, but just what he could potentially bring to the table, like his background or his baggage, like that certain people would say.
Before you go down, I want to say something real fast. So, I saw somebody, I forgot who it was. Man, somebody said this earlier yesterday. They said with Ja. Oh, actually, you know what? I know who it was. It was actually I did an interview with one of the group, the Nappy Roots. You know what I'm saying? Rap group. I talked to one of the members, and he was saying how he was like, you know where Ja lives, and I said Memphis, Tennessee. He said, what is it about Memphis? I looked it up. The most dangerous city in the U.S. right now is Memphis, Tennessee, with a population of 628,127. Memphis has a crime rate that is 237% higher than the national average. Memphis has 7,913 crimes per 100,000 people, with an exceptionally high violent crime rate. This is also the city where Young Dolph was murdered later part of last year. And so when I think about this is what I was saying before too. Like, and I made the case in a different way. I said certain cities are too certain cities have a stage that's too much for certain players. The example I gave at that time was Dak Prescott wearing the star on his helmet in Dallas. This also though is a example of that. The aura, the grind, the grit of Memphis, Tennessee is not a city that Ja Morant needs to be in if he has the mindset to want to be around certain people. He needs to be in a city with, like this. Not trying to be not trying to be biased, but he needs like a San Antonio Spurs where they have an organization where they have no tolerance for mess. They are all about culture, team. He needs to be somewhere like I can't think of other organizations like that, but you know what I'm saying? Just the other clean cut organizations that don't have this, or they don't have cities
Utah.
like that. Utah, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, Utah's a big one. Portland, Indiana, like, you know what I'm saying? Cities where he can go there, you know what I'm saying, and focus on just basketball and not have a city that has like, high
Too many distractions.
high distraction, but also like high what's the one I'm looking for? Like the lifestyle that Ja Morant is portraying to all of us is the city he lives in. So basically what I'm trying to say is there's no escape for him. He plays basketball, all of them in the arena watching him play. He leaves the arena, you know what I'm saying? He's out in the city with them. You know what I'm saying? He's constantly there with them. So it's almost like there's no escape. There's no therapeutic session for him outside. I didn't even know that he did that until you said it, Trey. Like on the court using the gun sound or making gun motions when somebody makes a shot, like that's weird. And like you think about like Javaris Crittenton, you know what that is? He's the guy who got into it good with Arenas in the locker room from a point guard from Georgia Tech. He had all the potential in the world. He's in jail right now. You know what I'm saying? For gun violence. You know what I'm saying? Gilbert Arenas messed his career up. Having a gun in the locker room and got in trouble with the guns.
Plaxico Burress.
Plaxico Burress. And Plaxico Burress came out with a statement today. He said, hey, if you don't hear nobody else, he goes, hear me. Like, don't make the same mistake I did. Plaxico Burress was one of the top receivers in the league, shot himself with his own gun, went to jail for 2 years, came back in the league, but was never the same. You know what I'm saying? The opportunities never came the same either. So again, Ja, man, you just signed a $250 million plus contract. Like,
with Nike and all the commercials.
they just made him one of the feature athletes on Nike when they removed Kyrie. They immediately signed him and made him his own feature shoe, supposed to come out later this year. They're probably gonna stall that now. Like, I'm gonna ask y'all this question if y'all agree. As a professional athlete, or entertainer, whether you want to be or not, do you think that you are a role model?
Yes.
All right, I totally agree. A lot of
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you know what I'm saying, for sure. Yes, a lot of professional. I hear people say it all the time. I think Charles Barkley said it too. Like a lot of professional athletes had this mindset, like, I'm not your role model, but you are somebody's role model. You know what I'm saying? The three of us in this room, you know what I'm saying, doing crowd favorite, our everyday jobs, our family, somebody's looking at us. You know what I'm saying? We are somebody's role model, whether we want to be or not. And so you have to be mindful of how you move. And I think and I hate it too as a black man. Like, we associate so many, in my opinion, so many things with the black culture. We make certain things staples of being black that don't necessarily have to be a staple of being black. You know what I'm saying? Crime, guns, weed, alcohol, those don't necessarily have to make you any more blacker than anybody else, but we always constantly make it seem like it does. And I think for Ja, I just need somebody to, his circle has to be different. And I heard my favorite player in the NBA of all time is Allen Iverson. And he said it. He said, look, man, like, my friends, like, they went through the mud with me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I made it. I'm bringing them with me. His whole career, the general managers, the coaches he had, his other players, Kobe, they're all be like, hey, look, like, your clique is pulling you down. He never cared, and he went down with him, a few times. You know what I'm saying? That has to be something that you take into account. And I think as much as his family be around him, His daughter's always in the public eye. His lady, his parents. Like, you got to change, man, because if you start putting yourself in these bad situations, now you put your family in danger too.
I also feel like what could possibly be going on in his head is like, hey, like if I don't put up this facade, 'cause I think it is a facade. I don't really think not judging like where he from, what he did, whatever. But I don't, like you said, you don't have to do that when you're in the NBA. You're a different caliber. But I feel like he has this mindset that's like, hey, if I show you that I'm like that, people won't mess with you.
Mm-hmm.
And because I am the superstar, and if I didn't act the way that I'm acting now, people will mess with me. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like, they'll come for me more in this city, this dangerous city, if I just keep my nose clean, I do what I do, they'll end up finding me.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but if I act like I'm with a crew and I'm doing all these things and I'm showing that I'm armed and all that, like, you'll be backing off of me. As long as I produce well,
Right.
you'll leave me alone. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I hate that how Skip and Shannon, you know, talked about him being in the gang. I feel like that is not their calling. I don't care what he threw up. That's not cool whatsoever. That you can sit up here and shame this man and incriminate a person based off of a sign. We have black people have a culture. You don't know what he could be throwing. That could be his neighborhood. Yeah, it did look like it said Crip. That's what the hand sign, right? But it could be mean something to him. So don't exploit that to people who don't even understand what that type of life is. You know, like, don't even say that, because now all people that don't even understand gangs, don't understand none of that, never even grew up in that type of culture, is gonna automatically say, oh, I see that particular sign that identifies as a gang.
Mm-hmm.
And now he's gonna always have that light as he's a gang member, you know. And it's just like, I just feel like he's trying to show people that he is tough, so people can back off of him.
Yeah. So going off of what you just said with that, I think that's a direct. That's like the consequences that I feel like he fails to realize comes with what he does. Like, he doesn't have the chance to actually, not portray. That's not the word I'm looking for. He can't really speak up for himself in these situations. So whenever he is making or carrying out these actions, things that he's doing on the court, off the court, all the stuff, all that there is for people to rely on is their perception of what they're seeing. So if you see someone, like, if I walk out on the street, I ain't no gang bear, nothing like that, but if I throw up a C or a B or something like that, somebody from the outside who might not know nothing about gangs, nothing like that, they're going to be like, oh, he like a gang member because he twisting his fingers. And I can't go up to him and be like, oh, I ain't no gang member, nothing like that. They could be like, oh, but what made you do that? You must know something about gang members. You must hang around gang members. You must do this or do that. So with that being the case, like, that's what I was trying to get at. Like, don't put yourself in bad situations, because then you're only going to be able, your word is only as good as the other person's that's seeing you from the outside looking in. You're not going to be able to try to defend yourself around everybody. And I'm going to go from that to the statement he put out, like his tweet saying, I'm going to do better, I'm going to get help and all that. I feel like that was very unsincere. I feel like that was something his agent or his people were just like, hey, just put this out real quick, because you already up under a lot of heat. Just put this out. Say that you're going to work on this, work on that. That way you can take a little bit of this heat off your back, and then we can just let stuff die down until you come back and start hooping. Because I feel what you were saying. It's a dangerous city, the most dangerous city in the U.S. So you got to move a certain way. You got to protect yourself. But at the same time, when you're that caliber of player, there's a difference between getting engulfed in the culture and not the culture, getting engulfed in what's going on around you and protecting yourself from what's going on around you. So for me, for instance, if I'm a famous basketball player, famous celebrity or something like that, and I got y'all around me as my entourage, essentially, I'm not going to walk around toting the gun, posting it, showing it, not just saying that's the only thing he does, but going around acting as something that I know I'm not, or portraying myself to be something that I don't want to be, or I know I'm not, just so other people around me can be like, oh, he looks like he's like that, like you were saying earlier. The logic in me and the smartness in me would end up being like, hey, I'm going to get some people around me that I know will protect me, and I would carry something on myself to where I can protect myself if something happens. If I run across some goons or something like that walking down the street and they want to press me because they think I'm not like that, okay, cool. But when they run up on me, I'm going to have something hot that I'm going to end up putting them to protect myself. Because at that point, hey, John Morant or Trey Armstrong or Devin and Daniel, the famous person just shot somebody dead in the middle of the street. Oh, what happened? Oh, I'm walking down the street going to the store and these goons ran up on me and I pulled out my gun that I'm licensed to carry, and I protected myself and shot them down. Versus me going out there in the street and then they end up seeing like, oh, yo, famous dude Trey Armstrong just ended up shooting somebody dead, and they pull up and they be like, oh yeah, it was him. He was with these guys that was wearing all red or all blue, and they was arguing with the people throwing up hand signs and stuff, and everybody started shooting and running and blah blah blah. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like Memphis, great team for him to play for, all that type of stuff. No knock to Memphis and nothing like that. I know a couple people from there for sure, but it's just like as a professional athlete, that's in the name. You're a professional.
Mm-hmm.
You have to carry yourself that way on and off the court. And you have to take protocols to protect yourself. That doesn't mean you got to, go above and beyond and be super rah-rah and getting face-to-face with the enemy. But you can end up doing some things to protect yourself from that enemy getting close to you.
Mm-hmm.
That's why these famous celebrities, not athletes, well, some athletes do, but famous celebrities, you see them walking around with an entourage of security if they're going somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
They got close friends with them that'll actually do that for them, you know what I'm saying, to protect them and everything. So it's all about just being smart and putting yourself in smart situations, you know what I'm saying?
A couple of things I was gonna say too. One, like I think a lot of times, you always hear the narrative about, players gotta protect themselves, gotta be protected. But I think now situations like this is gonna make these owners and GMs that's like gonna be like, nope, this is why we have this way we've been for years in place, and they gotta protect themselves. Like, just imagine when Memphis was out there, you know what I'm saying, whatever. I think also New Orleans drafted first, then Memphis drafted second, right? Like, Memphis wanted, everybody wanted Zion. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? We knew he was going to New Orleans because they had the first pick. But Memphis was like, I'm going to take the next player, Ja. Ja come in here and blow it up. Like, oh, shoot, we got something now. Plus, Zion kept getting hurt, so now you really got something. You give him $250 million plus. He got probably more millions from that from Nike. And then this happens. Like, this makes all these people be like, you know what? Nah. And then not to make it a race thing, but these are black people. These are our people. And then it just puts this negative connotation with our people. And the people are like, nah, I ain't fooling with them. The other thing, too, is most of these players, like Ja, this whole generation that's in the NBA now, like, for me, growing up, like, Jordan was the guy. Y'all, we've had a conversation before, but LeBron was the guy, is the GOAT for y'all. They're in the same bracket of age as y'all. LeBron's that guy. I always wonder why these players don't look at the guy they think is the GOAT. LeBron is probably one of the most electrifying, magnified athletes you've ever seen, and he's never, ever, ever, ever heard anything negative about him, like off the court issues. Like, he's never been in these baby mama drama, no tabloids, no controversies, none of that type of stuff.
The GOAT.
Well, that's not to do with the court.
He's the blueprint of what
right,
a team would want
a
player to be.
I never said that's nothing to do with the court, but I was saying, like two players I could think of that have never had no issues like that is LeBron and Tim Duncan. You know what I'm saying? Both of them, you know what I'm saying, are arguably the best at their position in the game. Two of the top 10 players probably to ever play the game. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, they're model professional athletes. Another one would be Derek Jeter. You know what I'm saying? In baseball, like, I remember I heard stories about Derek Jeter. He used to always throw parties, the biggest, greatest parties, right? And he had a rule. When you come to his house, there's a box with a lock. They had a security center right there. Anybody who came in his house with a party had to put their phone in the box. You know what I'm saying? With social media being big, all that stuff, like, even to this day, the phone goes in the box. You're not recording anything here. We're going to have fun, have a good time, be grown, have your drink, whatever. Come in here, party. On your way out, you get your phone. Goodbye. You can come back in. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's what I'm saying. But also, you never heard negative stuff about him in the tabloids, either like, or in the newspaper, or in articles, or conversations like this. Like, people have to learn, and I'm real big on this. You got it. Like, I tell people all the time, like, I work with Devin. You know what I'm saying? Like, we work together. Like, me and Devin always bouncing ideas for 8 hours every day, bouncing ideas off each other. I tell people all the time, like, if nobody else is, I'm definitely a no man for Devin. When Devin might feel like I'm gonna do this, I'll be like, nah, bro, like, do this. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm gonna do the same thing with Trey. You know what I'm saying? As our bond gets stronger, you know what I'm saying? Like, anybody who I'm close to, like, I'm not gonna say I'm like the person who's gonna try to be the square, but I'm definitely gonna be the person who is going to be like, hey, like, let's think logically about this because I don't want nothing bad to happen to you or anything associated to you. You know what I'm saying? I think not enough people like professional athletes have those kind of people in their circles. They're just worried about bringing all their friends that was there with them. And wasn't it you that told me the story the other day about how he was just playing basketball and somebody saw him and offered him? Somebody told me the story, but it's basically like apparently Ja Morant was playing basketball like at a YMCA or something, or at some tournament.
Yeah, AAU tournament.
Yeah,
and
tournament.
NBA scout had tried to talk to him. He walked off and said, "Man, I'll run away from L7s like you." Like, basically called the scout like, "You lame," like, and like clowned him or whatever. Now, I don't know how true that is. The site was verified, but you could pay for verification nowadays. So I don't know how true that was, but if that was true, that's crazy. But yeah, but Ja just got more to the story. Clean up his act. Watch who you surround yourself with. Make sure that you even though you feel like you trust them, like, I think it needs to be a thorough check of who that person is, because you could be saying that's gang, that's slime, whatever. But if you go broke today, is this still gang and slime? And I feel like a lot of people don't even see that until they hit rock bottom. And you shouldn't have to hit rock bottom to see that. You know, I feel like wolves hide as sheep a lot, and you just never know. But sometimes their true character will come out. Stop giving them money.
Right.
They can't get on the private jet with you, just family only. But, you know, you can't consider everybody family.
Yeah.
You know, so it's kind of like just got to rewire how you move, you know, how you think, you know. Even myself, I mean, you've seen it, how I've grown over the past 5 years. And you just got to watch who you surround yourself with and be grateful for life, because, you know, holding a gun like can always put a target on your back. So be grateful for what you have and keep moving forward. You know, Deion Sanders said it on The Pivot. I watched The Pivot earlier today. He said, man, God had our eyes for it, our nose was for it, our lips was for it.
Everything, yeah.
Everything is for it, because you got to keep moving forward. Learn from your mistakes and just don't revert back to what you did. So he could definitely be corrected from this. I hope he can only be, you know, reprimanded for just a few games, and he can learn his lesson and move forward, get the help that he said he's going to get. And, I think he'll be straight.
Yeah. And also, too, there are some examples from, like, what I mean by that, like, people who grew up in, like, troubled inner city areas who became, like, Serena Williams. Serena and Venus are from Compton, California.
Steve Smith.
Richard Sherman, you know what I'm saying? Ended up going to Stanford first, Ivy League school, before he even went to the pros. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's definitely success stories from our people who, you know, were in bad situations and saw Nipsey Hussle. You know what I'm saying? Rest in peace. You know what I'm saying? Like, troubled. You know, I'm going to change this. I'm going to buy this whole strip and make it for our people. I'm going to give former convicts and felons jobs, because I know they can't get no job nowhere else in this strip. Like, doing something positive for the community. Like, there's ways to be a positive role model and turn this around, Ja, but you got to do it now, brother, because you have a situation like this happen again, your career might be done. They ain't playing no games in 2023.
Yeah.
And I feel like what y'all was saying about surrounding yourself with the right people, it just get some people around you that's going to hold you accountable. It's all about accountability. Just don't got to have a bunch of yes men around you, because the money's going to make them want to agree with everything you're saying and everything you're doing. They could be like, okay, yeah, that's cool, man. Like, shoot, you paying, you filling my pocket, so I'm just going to let them do whatever you want to do.
Right.
But like you said, Devo, when shit hit the fan and you're not that man no more, like, them people not going to be there for you. If you get hemmed up and they take you to jail, them dudes ain't going to be sitting there for you, waiting for you to get out. So it's all about accountability. You surround yourself with the right people. And shout out to my sister Bree. She told me this all the time. She like, she may not tell me everything I want to hear, but she always says, like, hey, somebody got to keep it real with you. Yep. And that's something I live by. Like, somebody got to keep it real with you. And I'd rather be me than somebody you don't know.
Mm-hmm. But, man, this drink.
What's it called, man?
Oh, my God, the IV in the bottle. This Bud Light is the newest flavor. This is the February edition. Came out on Valentine's Day. This is the fruit punch flavor. This has became my favorite. I know I liked melon before on a previous episode, but this one is the one.
It's got a little something different to it.
Yeah, but we gotta drink it what?
Yeah, I think. Oh yeah, please drink it cold.
Cold. That's when you get the best results. Even though like we had these in the refrigerator before we got here, super
Always.
cold. Just worked out. Then came here, so I really like this new flavor. Shout out to Bud Light, man.
Shout out to y'all, man.
Yep, 550% more electrolytes than any other competitor. It has cramps. I mean, it covers cramps, it covers fatigue, overindulgence. So if you overeat, drink one of these. And it also has for dehydration. So go ahead and check this out. Buy a light.
Sure. Last thing we want to do, I want to mess up this time, shout outs. So you want to shout out?
Shout out to God. Without him, none of this would be possible.
For sure.
Shout out to my fiance, Taylor Renee, my mom, my brothers, my family in general. I love all y'all. Thank y'all for supporting me and where we're heading with this show and where we're heading in life. So I really appreciate that. So.
Yeah, shout out to God, just like he said before. Shout out to my family, my mom and my sisters, my brother. Shout out to the guys, man, my circle. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to y'all for sure. It's coming a regular thing, coming here shooting the podcast. It's something I look forward to every single week. Come here to depress and all that stuff and be able to chop it up with the guys and everything. I'm just blessed to see another day, man.
So you have to start sitting in the middle of the time from now on, Trey. It's kind of better up here.
For sure.
Yeah,
for sure.
Definitely shout out to God for sure for the gift of gab. I think it's very important to put out there that, you know, to be able to talk on a podcast like this for all three of us. Not everybody can do this. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes people get nervous, shy, whatever. But just to be able to sit here, for an hour plus and be entertaining, be knowledgeable, give, true, honest perspective and opinion, I think is a true gift. And so definitely shout out to God for the gift of God for all three of us to be able to do that. Also, just shout out to God for just blessings for all the things he's done for us, inside and out. Definitely shout out to everybody who supports Devin, Trey, and myself, crowd favorite. We really have high passion for this podcast. We grind really, really hard for this podcast. We want it to be successful and just, all the blessings that God has ordained for us when it comes to the podcast. Thanks for all the support. Definitely shout out to just my family, my daughter, Lyric, the music of my life. Shout out to just, everybody who supports us. Shout out to Lofty Loft. I see you. And also shout out to, let me see, Bratchy Big Eye. Bratchy Big Eye, that's your name. Bratchy Big Eye. But, you know what I'm saying, love you to death. Real talk, though, again, we love y'all all. I'm going to go ahead and do this closing prayer, and we'll go ahead and get out of here.
I got one more shout out, by the way. Shout out to God for sure, but the man y'all know as Him Not Them, Hemi Turner, Jones, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Also, new nickname, new AKA is Captain Pack. Your boy just got his private pilot license.
Oh, man.
Yeah. Shout out to God, man.
Pilot.
Hard work plus patience, man.
Achievement in every field in human endeavor.
That's what
yeah, man,
do.
you know what I'm saying? Flying in the
gosh.
sky, that's dope, brother. You know what I'm saying? Set out there with a goal, we got it done.
Top, man.
That was good.
Yes, sir. The only way.
Oh, my bad. I also want to say shout out to y'all, too, man. I didn't say that, but shout out to y'all for show as well. Couldn't do the show without y'all. There's no need for me to do this without y'all and the fans as well. So definitely shout out to y'all.
Yes, sir.
For sure.
But yeah, we'll jump to this prayer. Dear Heavenly Father, as we come right now for prayer, we ask that you please, first and foremost, forgive us for all of our sins, ones known and unknown, past, present, and in the future. Father God, we just truly thank you so much for allowing us to see another day on this earth. Thank you for blessing us. Thank you for your grace, mercy, and favor bestowed upon our lives. Right now, Father God, as we get ready to depart from one another in this room, we ask you please allow everybody safe travels to their destination without any hurt, harm, danger, interruptions, or distractions. Right now, Father God, whoever out there has a dream, allow them to have the mindset to go out there and get it, to go out there and grind for it, to go out there and make that dream into a reality. Thank you so much, Father God, for the gifts and talents you've given us. Right now, Father God, we thank you so much for allowing Trey to have the mindset to go out there for a goal he wanted to accomplish and to be successful in doing so. Bless him as he's in these skies, Father God. Bless him to be mindful of his actions and as he's in these aircrafts. Just continue to bless him with all other endeavors he has for his life. Continue to open up doors for him. Continue to allow him to be, walking in the correct path to receive all the blessings you have ordained for him, Father God. With Devin, bless him in his union at home, Father God. Allow him to continue allow him to continue to be the best version of a future husband, an educator, just a black man in today's society. Allow him to continue to take critique and be the best version of himself day in and day out and continue his growth. For myself, Father God, thank you so much for just my personal journey, my communication getting better, my balance is getting better. Just preparing myself to be the best version of myself each and every day, a future husband, just a better father. Every title that I hold, just continue to allow me to be prevalent to receive the blessings you have ordained for me. And last but not least, continue to keep our friends, family, loved ones, children, even our enemies, near and far away, and ones known and unknown, covered in your blood. In your mighty name we pray, man.
Amen. Hey, stay tuned for the merch.
Merch coming soon.
Can you play my theme music, please?
I got you, my guy. I know how this goes. I've been trying to get this queued up.
Shout out to Miles ahead of you.
We gonna get a freestyle?
Hey.
Drop some bars for me, Devo.
Hey.
Come on.
Hey.
Hey, I don't wanna hit a cap, you can save it. With my guys and we got it up the pavement.
Hey, he ran it, I can't even disrespect him, man. Yeah, I can't even, talk over it. Hey. Round of applause, give it up for the crowd favorite. Hey.
Round of applause, give it. I know they weak by the look in their faces.
See y'all next time.
Got me feeling
like Brady.
Say what I feel, I don't care how you take it.
Round of applause, give it up for the crowd favorite. Episode 8, we out, baby.
Round of applause, give it up for the crowd favorite. Yeah.
Yes, sir.